and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Real Tournaments, where our goal is to take your favorite franchise, place them into a single elimination tournament to find out which film of that franchise is the best. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the way the Pixar Pyramid Tournament is set up. There will be 5 rounds. The first round are the play-in matches. These 4 play-in matches will allow the winners to advance to the preliminaries. You could think of the preliminaries as the Sweet 16. From that, you will advance on to the quarterfinals. Obviously, there are 4 quarterfinal matches. The winners of those go on to the semifinals. From the semifinals, we go to the finals, the championship, to find out which film in the Pixar Pyramid Tournament is the best. As we stated before, this is the first of 4 play-in matches. So let's meet today's combatants. Released June 29th, 2007, with a runtime of 1 hour and 51 minutes. We have Ratatouille and the opponent. Released November 2nd, 2001, with a runtime of 1 hour and 32 minutes. We have Monsters Incorporated. Round 1. Starting off with the rewatch factor, when it comes to Ratatouille, I give this the score of a 2. It's just above a one-hit wonder. I've seen this a couple of times and totally didn't remember this movie. And it's a lot more funny than I remembered, but once again, it doesn't stick with you. It just isn't one of the best Pixar movies. It's very funny and it's definitely for adults. But it's just not one of the ones that stick with you. When it comes to Monsters, Inc., when it comes to rewatchability, I give this a 4. I feel this is an instant classic. And it's very cute and adorable, and it's very Disney and Pixar-esque. Not saying Ratatouille is not, but between the two, I feel Monsters, Inc. hits home better, and you would put that on way before you would put Ratatouille on. And I just feel Ratatouille is on a lower percentage of people that would enjoy this movie. And Monsters, Inc., it did get a prequel, but I just feel this rewatchability is definitely a 4. And you would definitely watch this not only on TV, but voluntarily watch it on your own. And the winner of round 1, the rewatch factor, goes to Monsters Incorporated. Round 2. When it comes to Ratatouille, as far as the storyline, I'm going to give it a score that you're surprised about. I give it a 4. I feel this was a unique story, and I feel it's the type of story that was never tried before. And they did it right for the most part, and it was really cool to see for the most part. I don't know if France has an inherent rat problem, and that's where it came from. I don't know, but it seems like all aspects of the movie followed itself. And a rat that could cook when rats in the kitchen is very taboo. That was cool. The fact that he can listen and understand human speak, that was fluent throughout the whole thing. The only thing that I had a quote-unquote problem with was the ending when rats were discovered in the kitchen of the big restaurant, Gusteau's restaurant, and it was closed. So therefore, the evil taste tester was no longer credible. Yet he opened up a restaurant that is credible. So that kind of negated what he was shunned for. But for all parts, it was a really interesting movie and it was a very interesting storyline. So I'm comfortable giving it a 4. As far as storyline for Monsters, Inc., I give it a 3. Only because, not because what they were trying to do, is because the movie didn't listen to itself. So, and obviously it's a child that crosses into the monster world and slowly finds out very early that all the myths about touching a child are false and that the child is not toxic or deadly. Randall knows this because he was in cohorts with Waternoose. Now, Waternoose knew this and knew this for a very long time. But I don't understand how they were the only two people that knew. Roz knew because she was the number one head of the Child Detection Agency, but the agents themselves didn't know that children weren't toxic because there's a scene at the end where Sully has to give the child back to Roz and they jump out of the way scared. So even the agents that work for the CDA don't know that children aren't toxic. That's what I mean about the movie not listening to itself. And finally, my last thing on the storyline, and this isn't why it gets the score it got, but it's something I have to say about the Pixar theory. And in watching all these, I'm trying to debunk the Pixar theory, so I might have a J list of, things about each movie that are being debunked. So let's not forget at the end, Sully gets to go back to Boo's room. So the fact that he has continuous access to her, and the fact that if she moved, he would know and would be able to re-find her. I don't believe in the whole time traveling witch thing. I know one thing that was found out in Monsters, Inc. is that Boo's real name is Mary, and the witch didn't have a name, but it's just, I don't know, that's one thing about the Pixar theory I don't buy. Anyways, enough with that rant. I give Monsters, Inc. a storyline a score of a 3. And the winner of round 2, the storyline, goes to Ratatouille. Round 3. When it comes to characters, this is going to be quite the race. When it comes to characters for Ratatouille, I give it a 4. The characters were very, very funny. When it comes to Remy the Rat, when it comes to Linguini, when it comes to the girl whose name I don't remember, when it comes to the chef who was exploiting Gusteau's restaurant. See, this is what I mean by it's not you remember things that happen, but you don't remember details. Like, I feel the characters themselves were well thought out, and how even each chef in the kitchen has its own personality, but you don't remember their names, but their acting wise, and this is a cartoon, yes I know, was very funny, and their acting was memorable. Not their names, but their acting. I feel, and a lot of the jokes were great. not only from like Remy's dad and his brother, but just like all the rats. I just feel the jokes were really, really, really good. And I attribute those to characters because of how they brought that out, how they dressed that. So I give characters a 4. When it comes to Monsters, Inc., I give characters a 4 as well. They're memorable. You remember them. They're very funny. You know their names. You always know their names. And that's the type of characters that stick with you. These characters, like I said, they just stick with you. You see them in parades at Disney, it's just, they have little stuffed animals that you want to collect, and they're in other video games. Like, these characters are very, very marketable because of the way they act, It's really cool, and the chemistry that they have with each other is great. We do have a tie for characters for Ratatouille and Monsters, Inc. both receiving a 4, and definitely I'm going to give the win to Monsters, Inc. They're more memorable and they resonate better. So just simply, that is the reason. Round 4. When it comes to Ratatouille and the appearance, I give it a 3. I felt like this was made closer to Toy Story. Like, the CGI looked very off, and I didn't realize this was actually made after Monsters, Inc. And I'm going to flow right into Monsters, Inc. here. I give Monsters, Inc. a score of a 4. Let's not forget all the hubbub they made about Sully's fur, how they had to individually use each piece of fur. And the only reason Monsters, Inc. doesn't receive a 5 is because Boo's face still looked blocky. I feel that the faces in Ratatouille are more smooth, but they had these weird shines to them that other films didn't. And that was kind of off-putting, because when you look at someone in the eyes, you don't see like shines on the whites of their eyes. I might be nitpicking, but I am a critic, and that's my job. And the winner of round 4, the appearance, goes to Monsters, Inc. Round 5. And finally, we have the enjoyment. The enjoyment for Ratatouille is a 3. It's above middle of the road, but it's a middle of the road film. A week after you watch it, you might not even remember it. It's not memorable. The enjoyment of it is low. The jokes are far and in between. I feel that they depend on their jokes resonating with such an older audience as opposed to kids. That the enjoyment isn't universal. I feel it's targeted to such a small demographic. And I feel that does hurt the film, especially coming from Pixar Disney. You have other films, which we'll get at later, that although they target a smaller demographic, is able to be enjoyed by a larger demographic. I don't think children would really know what's going on in Ratatouille and why things are happening the way they are. When it comes to Monsters, Inc., I give enjoyment a 5. As I was saying before, I feel there's a 100% demographic for this movie. Kids can enjoy it, adults can enjoy it. There's hidden jokes for adults, but there's enough jokes for kids for them to laugh as well. It's I hate this word. It's a wholesome film. And it's able to be enjoyed by everybody, and you remember it and you go back to it and it's still funny. It's not the type of movie that you see new things every time you watch it, because the little jokes that they have, you really have to look for. Like, for example, at the end of the movie, when Mike Wazowski is telling jokes to this kid, there's a poster that says Tomorrowland, and Tomorrowland is one of the theme parks at one of the Disney locations. So it's like you have to really look for it. But enjoyment is definitely a 5, and I don't know, like, I won't believe someone who votes against that. It's time for the final results. The winner of round 1, the Rewatch Factor, goes to Monsters Incorporated. The winner of round 2, the storyline, goes to Ratatouille. The winner of round 3, in an extended win, characters, goes to Monsters, Inc. Round 4, the appearance. The winner goes to Monsters, Inc. And round 5, the enjoyment. The winner goes to Monsters, Inc. So with a score of 4 round wins, Monsters, Inc. wins the match and goes on to the preliminaries, where it will face the number 1 seed, Up. Well, that's all the time we have here today on Real Tournaments. Don't forget, this is the first of 4 play-in matches. There are more matches coming up. I try to hit a show every Saturday and Sunday. These take a little while to make, but definitely at least every Saturday. So I'll catch you guys next week. Have a nice holiday, because it's important.